Hey, Sludge, I do buckaroos. How the heck are ya? I'm Tom the Whiskey Whisperer. No, I'm not really in this nice Christmas Irish pub behind me, but, just trying to create a mood as I do. Anyway, here's what I got for you today. I'm going to have this product neat and then as an old fashioned. Sort of. I'll explain later. Arcadia from Iechyd Da, local distillery to me. It is 92 proof, a bourbon whiskey finished in vanilla barrels. Read you a little bit here. Why Story once said, to find paradise, you must first create it. And our Arcadia vanilla finished bourbon whiskey captures the sweet, soft, velvety notes of vanilla in a balanced blend of deep oak, subtle spice, rich cocoa, and nougat. I've had this once before, but this is the first time I've given myself a full pour. So I've got approximately 2 ounces neat in here, using my Iechyd Da glass here, as you see. Oh man, I do love me some vanilla. But I also thought that the notes here, that those big vanilla notes, would lend itself well to an old-fashioned style cocktail. And although we are heading towards winter and it's very cold, adding certain things would certainly take you in that direction. But I also feel like the vanilla could take you more to spring and summer notes by changing the ingredients. So anyways, let's just have some neat. A lot of vanilla on the nose, as you might expect. It is vanilla barrel, but you do feel those barrel notes as well on the nose. There's that hint of spice, right? That hint of spice really accentuates those vanilla notes. Remarkably easy to drink at that 92 proof. As you can see, there was no face made. Although I've had a couple friends point out that they've seen me drink cask whiskey and not make a face. So I shared a theory about that in another video. I seem to be impervious to the burn unless it's really horrible whiskey. That is just simply delicious. So yes, a lot of vanilla, as you might expect. And they mentioned some other notes here. I'm just going to put a slightly finer point on them. Deep oak, yes, you're certainly going to find a lot of rich oak in there. Subtle spice. Yeah, okay. Let's put a finer point on that. I'm going to say you're going to probably find some cinnamon, but for me, I'm really finding some allspice, some ginger, some clove, almost a mix of baking spice, if you will. Rich cocoa, yes, certainly. So some deep chocolate notes and nougat. Yeah, the nougat's interesting. That might be a hard one to try to pinpoint. I also feel like I'm picking up some honey in there. The nougat may be that richness. I would probably, had I not read that, I would probably interpret it a different way. I feel like I'm getting just a touch of maple in there as well. It's just an absolutely delicious whiskey. I believe it'd be a nice bourbon for those that started out on wheated bourbons but now are looking for something more substantial. This bourbon really offers you a lot. I mean, there's a lot of flavor, there's a lot of aromatics. It really gives you a lot of ways to improve your palate. Although if you've seen any of my videos before, you know I'm a big fan of this particular distillery. And I really like them because they are local to me. I'm a big proponent of buying local. And typically, in most cases anyway, when you buy from craft distillers, you are going to spend a little more. just craft beer drinkers. You drink craft beer, you know it's going to cost you a little more than the macro counterparts. And I have a hard time convincing whiskey drinkers that the same applies, right? Yes, it is a little more expensive than the names, you know, but it is a small craft distillery. And I believe it's a far superior product. You can see how remarkably easy that is to drink, right? Well, we made short work of that, but I have a cocktail. Don't go away. I'll be right back. All right, one more time with feeling. So I made an old-fashioned of sorts with this. You may notice there's no ice in the glass. Yeah, I prefer my cocktail straight up, which means I have it very well chilled. So I've served it more like you would a Sazerac, although there's no absinthe in there. But meaning that I've chilled the glass, I've chilled my cocktail, but I'm leaving no ice in the glass. There we go. So here's what I got here. I'm using 3. Count them, 1, 2, 3. Iechyd Da products. And I say old-fashioned of sorts because there's no simple or sugar cube, but there is some sweetener in here. But I'll show you what I've got here. It's these 3 items. I've used 2 ounces of the Arcadia, the vanilla barrel whiskey we just had. And then I used 3/4 ounce of Granny Hammer apple brandy. And then here's the sweetener in the cocktail. I used 1/2 ounce of the candied orange liqueur from, again, Iechyd Da. All 3 products are Iechyd Da. So we got a trifecta here. I'm calling this an orchard old-fashioned. Bitters. You should have bitters if you're calling it old-fashioned, Tom. Yes, there is. I used these cherry bourbon bitters, so keeping that orchard theme, you see. Calling this an orchard old-fashioned. Now, I will freely admit that I don't like my cocktails as sweet as some, which is why I rarely, if ever, order an old-fashioned out because I tend to make them way too sweet. But this is that candied orange adds just the right amount of sweetener. So I got the apple, the orange, the cherry bitters, vanilla, cheese whiz and bacon. This is delicious. And I have this very well chilled, right? As you can see, my glass was chilled. I chilled my cocktail nicely. It was stirred, not shaken. I do stir most of my cocktails. I only shake those that absolutely need to be. What I mean by that is very few cocktails. Let me walk that back a little. Unless I'm using an egg foam or something of the sort, I typically don't shake. I only shake it if I absolutely have to. Otherwise, I feel like stirred is much better, whatever the cocktail. But if you're putting that egg foam on there, you got to shake her. That is really nice, man. Gosh, I can't believe, I've got 3 different alcohols in there, and that is just delicious. That is so easy to drink. The orchard old-fashioned. This is a keeper, man. Hey, you folks at Iechyd Da, if you want to steal it, go ahead. I know you have the products. You don't have to give me credit. I'd come up with a clever name, more clever than I just did, but we're going from the orchard here. But yes, the Arcadia with the Granny Hammer apple brandy, and then the candied orange liqueur. Oh my gosh. And then that cherry bourbon bitters. Oh, that just kind of is the, or the cherry on a sundae, if you will. Anyway, sláinte. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor, wisdom man. All right, good guys, sláinte.